So this is a fight up in Chiang Mai at the Gawilla Stadium, which is a military stadium, and it was called the Lumpini of the North, and they didn't let women fight there. But then it burned down maybe like a year after my first trip to Thailand in like 2013. And when they rebuilt it, they let women fight there, which is really cool. And it looks exactly the same as it did before. We're shaking our heads because the fight just before mine was Petchrungruang, the all-female gym in Mae Rim, and one of my former opponents, Guang Tong. And the fight was ruled a draw, but we were pretty sure that Guang Tong had won pretty clearly. And I'd actually gone and clinched with them the night before this fight. So I was a little bit sore from that, but worse than that was I had fought 2 days before this, and it was a good fight. I won. I felt really good. And then the next night went and clinched at the Petchrungruang gym, and then went and had dinner and got food poisoning from my dinner. So I had been very, very sick for about 20-something hours. So I had absolutely no energy. I was very dehydrated, and as I was going up to the ring, not only did I feel horrible, but I was pretty scared I was going to either vomit or like poop myself in the ring, which when that's what you're concentrating on going into a fight and you're not really thinking about your opponent so much, it takes the fear out, but it's a different kind of fear. So the way the towel is wrapped around me like a scarf is because Dang knew that I was sick and he was trying to like keep me warm like a little chihuahua getting into the ring for this fight. Dang's very cool though, like he just wants to know how I'm feeling, and you don't have to lie to him, he just wants to know. And when I told him that I was sick, he was like, okay, just do your best. Like, he makes adjustments based on the information that he gets, so it really helped in my I don't give a fuck attitude to be as sick as I was, but I just had no extra gear. It was, you can kind of see my attitude of really not caring. Referees check for like earrings and stuff when they come over. So I'm fighting against Thanonchanok Kaewsamrit, or Roar Gila Lampang. She is a world champion, WPMF for like 4 years, and she's 6 kilos bigger than me. So her champion belt is at like 50 something. It was supposed to be at 48, and then she got another one. But she weighs like 54 when she doesn't drop, and she doesn't drop to fight me. You can see her lower half, she's quite a bit bigger than me. And she's amazingly good. Like, she's just so slick and skilled. And I'd fought her about a month before this and beat her, which was absolutely incredible. I was so proud of myself, and it had been a long time since I'd fought her, and it felt like this huge spring forward for me in my abilities and things like this. So this is our rematch after me beating her. So I knew she was going to come hard, and it was a serious disappointment that I was suffering from food poisoning on our rematch. But it's also one of these things where because I had beat her before and she's the champ, so it's kind of like a ding on her reputation and a mark in my belt, I kind of had the power to demand that she come down in weight to fight me again in order for her to like get her revenge or whatever. But I'm not that fighter. I just want to fight the best, and so making it complicated or any of those things is not what I'm interested in. So fighting her at her weight, whatever she is when she's walking around, that's fine with me. But I also had another fight the night after this, so I pretty much was like, please don't vomit in the ring and please be slightly better for my fight the next night. It was just, you just get it done. She has such a pretty round Muay. This referee in the ring had refereed for me over at a different stadium, Locro, and let me continue when I had been cut pretty badly against Nong Ying, who is the Farang smasher from Petchrungruang, the all-female gym. And I remember him sitting with me while I was getting stitched up, just smiling at me, and I was like, thank you for letting me continue, and he goes, no, you're Terminator, I know you can keep going. So that was nice to know that he knew who I was. So you can see that the stadium is pretty empty, but all of the gamblers are kind of over into Thanonchanok's corner, so you'll be able to hear people screaming when the fight starts. It's not a it's not a heavy gambler stadium, but I think when they have really big shows, you can get quite a few in there. I like her runway a lot. You can see her experience and how smooth she is with it too. This is, for some reason our camera wasn't working and we only have the live stream of this, so this is our phone camera filming this one. Kevin up on the ring. Old school. Before we had a dog, he used to always get up on the ring. Now that we have JD, he usually has to be down. This might have been the first time I was fighting at Gorilla, and I think we left JD at the Doggy Monster Bar, which is a bar that takes care of the street dogs. It's right next to Lana Muay Thai, and they raise money for them and buy dog food and kind of just feed the soy dogs around the area. So they take care of JD for us when we go to a stadium where he can't come in. They're really nice. Oh, you can see I don't feel good. Bitch face in full effect. Hips are forward though, that's good. And there's our size difference right there. So in our fight previous where I had beat her, I had success keeping her in the legs and kind of keeping her from posting, because her style is so slick and pretty that if she can't set up, she won't throw something. So I was kind of preventing her from starting her stack in our first fight, which I'm trying to recreate a little bit now. But of course, once you fight someone, they know a little bit about you and they come in with a different game plan usually, so. I'm having a little more trouble reaching her than I did in that first fight. I'm not staying as close. She has a really nice push, and because she's bigger than me, she doesn't have to push that hard to kind of keep me off. Oh, I did start the leg kicks. I thought she started it. But watching this now, I can see I was the first one. This fight is a little bit of a leg kick war as we go. But these early rounds, they don't score a whole lot, so she's starting out slower, and because I'm not super feeling well, I'm kind of letting her have a slower round, which allows her to have energy later in the fight, which is not in my best interest. Here she's kind of getting me into the corner, and she throws some body punches, which did not feel good. But my guard's alright. She's really good at punching off of that caught leg as well. Dang wanted me to elbow her when she was punching my body, which is not something I've ever practiced, but I was aware of him asking me to do that. And then if you look at the difference in the size of our legs, when she leg kicks me, it kind of buckles me a little bit. I'm so sick. It's funny. See if I can see what Dang is telling me to do. I think he's just telling me to stay closer and keep my hands up. And then to push her off when she's trying to come in for those body punches, I think. That's Den's nephew down there on the side of the ring. His name is Baz. He is so cute. Den has two nephews that are at the gym, and he was actually the jerky one of the two, but now he's become really sweet. And he loves JD because Baz has a cowlick on his head, like in the front of his hair, and JD has two cowlicks. So the first time he met JD, he was just touching the swirl of hair on JD's neck and then pointing at his own head over and over again. It was the cutest thing ever. And it might have actually been at a Thanonchanok fight. It was either Thanonchanok or Cherry. Second round, here we go. So still not a scoring round, so the kind of degree of weapons might go up or might not in this round. But you can see she's a little bit more aggressive, not just taking my strikes, but starting to kind of perform a little bit more. Oh, you can hear it. They're telling her to punch my body. Doi tong, doi tong. So my hop-in had worked really well in our previous fight, and that actually will protect me from those leg kicks that she's throwing, but I kind of wasn't super focused on it. I'm happy with my stance, though. It's wider than it normally is. Getting fancy. So she gets fancy back. And you can hear that leg kick too. Even though she has those huge legs, my leg kicks were bothering her. And I think I was kind of aware of it in the fight, but watching the fight afterwards, I'm like, God, I should have hit her a lot more with those leg kicks because they were definitely bothering her. Oh. You'll hear her girlfriend screaming also in the corner when you hear this scream coming from the left side of the screen. That's Thanonchanok's girlfriend, who's also a fighter. See how she's bouncing her front leg up also to protect from those leg kicks and timing. It's almost a plow. It's good though. She's smiling. She knows. She's really good at making every one of her strikes visible. Like, they don't get swallowed by her movement or kind of like just sticking it in there as a quick counter. They're all very demonstrative, so every single one counts. You can see them.
Sylvie, gotta start clinching. Clinch, clinch.
Kevin telling me I gotta start clinching to start wearing her down. Unfortunately, with my energy, I didn't feel like I could super control her in the clinch, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't clinch. It just means you have to clinch with no power.
Doing good.
Someone is asking Kevin about me, a Thai person. Kevin doesn't speak Thai, so it's an interesting conversation. I think he's asking her whether, he's asking Kevin whether or not I'm training well. I think he can tell that my energy's not good, but Kevin has no way of explaining why, nor should he explain why in the middle of a fight. You can see Dang looking over at Thanonchanok. He's seeing what her energy is like. I tend to look over at my opponents between rounds and see whether they look like they're breathing heavy or not. But that's what your corner is always doing as well. This guy's telling Kevin that Thanonchanok's bigger, as though anybody looking at this can't tell that. Now Kevin's telling him I'm 47 kilos.
World champion.
So now we're getting into the scoring rounds. So you can expect round 3 to be a little bit heavier in terms of pace and which weapons are being brought out. She's chasing me down now, whereas she wasn't doing that before. Trying to use that hop in. I'm pretty good at getting past her long guard, but on the inside here, my arms are getting kind of caught. It's hard to tell what's going on, but I think that I'm getting some jump knees in, which probably aren't landing super hard, but they are demonstrative. That was a good one from her. See how wide she brings her leg around? Those aren't hard, but they look really good. She's trying to do a forward lead elbow on me. See how she positions first? It's so nice. It's really beautiful. You don't do that by accident. That's training and performance and knowing what that looks like.
Pull off the rope. You gotta get off the rope.
So when I'm coming in pretty good, but then I'm leaving my butt back, which is why I'm turning when I throw that left. The ref is starting to break the clinch a little bit faster than he was in the earlier rounds, which just makes things harder for me. But at the same time, if I worked faster, he wouldn't be able to. So you can't just blame the ref for shit. You have to take responsibility for it and make it hard for them to break it. That was good on her part. But I'm firing back and staying in pretty well. These paces, when I go backwards like that, the first few paces, if I made them more deliberate, I think it would look much better. She's winning this round right here with me kind of getting stuck with those leg kicks. So now I'm a little bit stuck. So right there, she just took a pretty big lead in this round. I have to get off the ropes. But here, when I get her into the middle of the ring, and she misses, I almost take her back. If I was able to actually swing around and take her back, it would have changed that round. So even though she had that super dominant part over by the ropes, me getting her in the middle of the ring right there, had I done it correctly, would have made that a much closer round. And I could have potentially taken it if I had nailed her from behind or thrown on the ground or something. Dang's telling me to keep my hands up. I think he sees those elbows that she's trying to throw, and he wants me to parry the teep. Parry the teep and then grab her. Kevin's muttering to himself, pull her off the ropes, which is the theme of what I'm not doing in this fight that would have changed it significantly. I'm like, I have not pooped myself. So far, so good. It's the small victories. Oh, I was so tired. I can remember it. Man. I'd eaten a fish the night before at this restaurant that we've gone to a million times. When we lived in Chiang Mai, we ate there almost every day. And I got the same fish that I've gotten a gazillion times, but, you know, it's people don't give food poisoning on purpose. It's just some kind of error, so I have no idea how that happened, but man, it's like a few hours after dinner until like an hour before this fight was just the worst. Possible our weight difference was actually more than the 6 kilos it normally is because of how sick I was. Here we go, here we go. Stay in, Sylvie. You don't care. Go. Pep talk. Yeah. See? See? Pushing me. Beautiful form, but I didn't go. So because she had such a nice round right before this, she kind of doesn't have to do a whole lot in this round, which allows her to kind of do her beautiful pacing. So all I have to do is pressure her to kind of put her on the back foot a little bit and stop her from posting, which I'm okay at the moment, but I keep overturning. She's nailing that leg. So here I have a good lock, but her turn broke it out. I have to pull her off the rope. You can hear Kevin. Pull. That looks bad for me. So I'm kind of putting my butt back when I'm posting as she's coming towards me. If I kept my hips in, I'd be ready to fire something straight away, which is, you'll see what she does when she like posts up top and then throws a kick. That's from her hips being in. So she's kind of snuffing my clinch now, and the referee is rewarding her for snuffing the clinch because I'm not working fast enough, which it's basically like railroad tracks, right? So they like shift that little lever and the tracks switch direction. That's what happens when a referee starts breaking something or not breaking something, is it just changes which tracks the train is going to be on. It doesn't totally change the fight, but it can really alter the direction of who's in charge. That was nice form on her part, but didn't connect. That was a nice trip on my part. So here, now I need to like skip my legs back and nail her with a straight knee, but I can't quite get there. So the fight is close. She's definitely still winning, but it's not like out of reach. I just don't have another gear because of how I feel. Dang's calm though. He's so good. He's an amazing corner. Very good coach. He wants me to be more active in the clinch. I think he can tell that it's being broken, and he just wants me to score in the time that I have and to make it harder for him, the referee, to break it.
Pull her off the rope.
Look at him watch her. Dang's watching her. I think you can also tell what the trainers on that side are saying by looking over. Wants me to yank on her head. So they're telling her side to teep. Teep, teep. She's already ahead, so she basically just has to keep me off of her. Just kind of fight for 1 minute, and then she can pretty much dance away. So it's up to me to make that difficult for her to do. Round 5. Staying in. Nice elbow. She throws really beautiful elbows, but they very rarely connect. The form on them is just like picture perfect though. Kevin. Kevin. When I come after her like that, especially when I'm kicking her legs, her backup, her feet are too close together, which shows that she is a little bit pressured by it. Like there, she's backing up beautifully, but when I actually go after her leg, it changes. So here I need to pull her backwards, off the ropes, get her in space. Those are good points for her though. See how when she knees, you can see every single one of them, and mine kind of get hidden, like behind her legs sometimes. I need to change that. So you can hear Dang. He's the one going like, go, 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 go. He wouldn't be yelling like that if it wasn't within reach, because he knows how sick I am. So he could very easily be like, that's okay, Palau, like no problem. Just finish the round out. But he's screaming at me, which means that this is within reach, and he knows I fight to the end. So if I could grab her and do something really huge, like throw her to the ground or land a couple of really good knees, I could steal this fight, even though she's had a lead the whole time. Getting broken. I just don't have another gear. Like I can hear people yelling at me, but I just do not have anything to pull from. So it's basically just tenacity and not stopping. But even if I weren't sick, I'm pretty happy with how I fought in this fight. I think that I had a lot of variety and my strikes were pretty good. I like Thanonchanok a lot. I'd fight her 1,000,000 times. I'd lose to her 20 times. I don't care. I'd love fighting her. I'm totally gonna beat her again, but just not this time. That's her dad giving me water. He's nice. Well, he's nice to me when I see him. I don't know anything about him. Ooh, corner. So afterwards, she came up to me to say sorry, and we took a photo and all that stuff. And I was fighting her teammate the next night at a different stadium, Liko. She was incredibly surprised to hear that I was going to be fighting the next night. Her like eyes were bugging out. It's Boz. Sylvie is out of there. I feel like shit. Just like out of there. That's the promoter right there on the left. That's Thanonchanok's girlfriend. Oh no, sorry, that was a Petchrungruang girl.
Not feeling it today, but tried my best.
Petlila is taking my gloves off. She's the northern phenom in my eyes from the Petchrungruang gym.